Long ago, in the powerful land of Egypt, there lived a king called Pharaoh. Egypt was rich, strong, and feared by many nations. But behind the beauty of the palaces and pyramids was great suffering. The Israelites, the descendants of Jacob, had become slaves in Egypt. They worked day and night, building cities for Pharaoh. Their lives were filled with pain, hard labor, and fear. Pharaoh worried that the Israelites were becoming too many and too strong. So he made their suffering even worse. He ordered that every Hebrew baby boy should be killed. But during this dark time, one mother made a brave decision. She placed her baby boy inside a basket and hid him among the reeds by the Nile River, hoping God would protect him. That baby's name was Moses. One day, Pharaoh's daughter came to the river to bathe. She found the basket and heard the baby crying. Instead of turning away, she felt compassion. She decided to raise the Hebrew child as her own son. So Moses grew up inside Pharaoh's palace. He wore royal clothes, learned the wisdom of Egypt, and lived like a prince. But deep inside, Moses knew he was different. He knew he belonged to the Hebrew people. As Moses grew older, he saw the suffering of his people. He watched Egyptian guards beating Hebrew slaves. One day, anger filled his heart, and Moses killed an Egyptian who was hurting a Hebrew slave. When Pharaoh heard what Moses had done, he became furious. Moses fled Egypt and escaped into the wilderness. For many years, Moses lived far away as a shepherd in the land of Midian. It seemed like his life as a prince was over forever. But God had not forgotten him. One day, while Moses was tending sheep near Mount Horeb, he saw something strange, a bush on fire that was not burning up. As Moses moved closer, he heard a voice call from the bush. "Moses? Moses!" It was God. God told Moses that he had seen the suffering of his people in Egypt and had chosen Moses to lead them to freedom. But Moses was afraid. He said, "Who am I to stand before Pharaoh?" God answered, "I will be with you." Moses returned to Egypt with his brother Aaron by his side. Standing before the mighty Pharaoh was not easy. Pharaoh was powerful, proud, and believed he was above everyone else. Moses delivered God's message boldly. "Let my people go." But Pharaoh laughed at him. Instead of freeing the Israelites, Pharaoh made their work even harder. The slaves cried out in pain, and many blamed Moses for making things worse. Then God sent signs and wonders across Egypt. The Nile River turned to blood. Frogs covered the land. Gnats and flies filled homes and streets. Livestock died. Painful boils appeared on people's skin. Thunder and hail destroyed crops. Locusts devoured what remained. Darkness covered Egypt for 3 days. Each time disaster struck, Pharaoh would promise to let the Israelites go. But once the danger passed, he changed his mind. His heart remained hard. Finally came the last and most terrible plague. God warned that the firstborn son in every Egyptian home would die during the night. But the Israelites were told to place lamb's blood on their doorposts so death would pass over their homes. That night, cries filled Egypt. From the palace of Pharaoh to the smallest house, grief spread across the land. Even Pharaoh's own son died. Broken and defeated, Pharaoh finally called Moses and Aaron. "Go," he said. "Leave my people and worship your God." After hundreds of years of slavery, the Israelites finally walked out of Egypt as free people. But Pharaoh's anger soon returned. He changed his mind again and sent his army to chase the Israelites. Soon, the Israelites found themselves trapped between Pharaoh's soldiers and the Red Sea. Fear spread through the crowd. People cried out to Moses, "Why did you bring us here to die?" But Moses stood firm. He said, "Do not be afraid. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord." Then God performed a miracle. Moses stretched out his staff over the sea, and the waters divided. A path opened through the middle of the sea, with walls of water standing on both sides. The Israelites walked across on dry ground. When Pharaoh's army followed them into the sea, the waters crashed back down, covering the chariots and soldiers. The Israelites were finally free. On the other side of the sea, the people celebrated with singing, dancing, and praise to God. After years of slavery, fear, and suffering, freedom had finally come. The story of Moses and Pharaoh is more than a story about miracles. It is a story about courage, faith, and trusting God even when the situation seems impossible. Moses was not perfect. He was afraid, uncertain, and felt unqualified. But God still used him to change history. Pharaoh, on the other hand, allowed pride and stubbornness to control his heart, and it led to destruction. This story reminds us that freedom often comes through struggle, faith requires courage, and no power on earth is greater than God. And even in the darkest moments, hope is never lost.